Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. For those of you who are joining my channel for the very first time, I'm your host, Johnny Mac. And for those of you who are returning subscribers, thank you for your continued support and welcome back. So we're going to be less than 2 days away from the official launch of New World. So excited, and I know you guys are too. So we're going to be going over the New World launch details that have actually been published by the developers. We're going to be going over the launch times as well as the launch regions, and we're going to be going over some other interesting information to hopefully help you select the server that you're going to roll your character on. So let's go ahead and get on into it. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the oversaturated information that anybody who's watching this video probably already knows, but let's go ahead and go over it anyway. Greetings, adventurers. Next week on September 28th, New World will be launching. The past few years of alpha testing, preview events, and our recent beta tests have been critical in helping us prepare for launch, and we couldn't have done it without your participation, feedback, and enthusiasm. We wanted to put together a primer so you, your friends, and communities can fully prepare for launch and ensure you're not missing out on any of the exclusive content available. We've also included our server names, locations, and recommended languages so you're ready to hop in the same world as your friends when the gates to Eternum open next week. Now, this is where I'm going to put up the map that shows the server launch times for September 28th / September 27th. Now, what's interesting is that for the first time in my recent memory, the EU is actually going to be getting it first. So that's pretty cool, right? So at 8 a.m. CEST, EU servers will launch on the 27th, which is 11 p.m. Pacific time. And then that's going to be followed by 8 a.m. South American servers will be launched on the 28th, which is 4 a.m. Pacific time. 9 p.m. Australian time for the Australian servers on the 28th, which is 4 a.m. Pacific time. And then that's going to be followed by the East Coast servers and the West Coast servers at 8 a.m. for their respective time zones. Now, like I said before, it's pretty interesting that the EU is actually getting this first. I'm actually really happy about that because anytime you get into any MMO launch or any live service type of game, or in the case of Outriders, a non-live service / live service game. Anyway, doesn't really matter. You run into server issues, right? Things get bogged down. You have scaling issues on the back end. So with the EU getting servers first, it gives them several hours to hash out some of these different things that are going to happen in the background. I think it's pretty silly that if you think that there are not going to be some sort of hiccups or delays or annoyances, might want to consider again, because I have a feeling it's going to happen unless Amazon happens to pull off, and I kind of hope they do, but unless they happen to be able to pull off a flawless launch and set that bar way up here as to how a launch should go, I would expect some delays, guys. Just say it. So New World's launch is a unique moment when Eternum is an unclaimed land of opportunity, and the ability for you and your company to organize, progress, and claim your territory is an exciting event as you establish a foothold to defend and develop. We want that initial land rush to feel fair for all players around the world. We paid close attention during closed and open beta to your feedback on when servers went live. When planning our server launch times, we took fairness and your feedback in mind and have designed a server rollout we hope will support the majority of our players. And we took the local times into consideration and will launch in the following order. Now, I already went over that order, and I'll go ahead and put up a little infographic here that shows in a written format the launch times. And I will go ahead and we'll put up the server lists up here while I'm talking. And one thing to note is that this is a huge amount of servers, guys. Huge. I don't think I've seen this many servers launch with any MMO. And over the past 20 years, I've been through a lot of MMO launches. I'm not even gonna lie. This is a massive amount of servers. Now, it is reasonable to make this statement when I say that probably half these servers will probably be gone within the next 3 months. Typically what happens is they'll launch with as many servers as they think, multiplied by at least 1.5 or 2. So it looks to me like they're probably launching with maybe 1.5 times the amount of servers that they think they actually need. Maybe it's double, Don't really know, only they would really know that. But what will end up happening is that the low population servers will be migrated into each other, and then over probably the next 6 to 8 months, they will probably dwindle those down even more with more server merges. Now, I will say one other thing that has come up, and it was a big, huge matter of debate, was the naming scheme of your companies and your character names. Now, what they are saying here, New World confirms global name system. There is some pretty big hate going around because everybody thought that, you know, your character names were 100% locked and so forth and so on. But they went in and they rebutted, and here's what their official statement is. There have been some questions about the character naming system in New World and whether or not names of characters and companies would be global or regional. Below is the official response of Muggsy, part of the AGS team. Hey there everyone, I am part of the New World community team and I wanted to provide an official update. We have seen some confusion regarding character and company names and how they work for New World. We were looking at ways to make this smoother for launch, but we aren't sure if it could be a quality solution by then. We have ideas on how to address this if you happen to miss the exact name you are looking for launch, and we'll keep you updated on that. We understand folks are frustrated and want to provide as clear a response as possible. Names within New World are currently global, meaning first come, first served, and are locked to an account for a short amount of time, even after the character is deleted. And they go on, in one of my resources, it's approximately 1 minute. So if you lock in that character name, and then you go back and delete that character, you have to wait approximately 1 minute before it becomes available again. And company names are also global, but are not locked to an account. Once a company is deleted, removed, or renamed, the name becomes available immediately. So keep that in mind, guys. We understand there is a desire for some players to lock in your character name as soon as possible. It is possible to do this by creating a character on any available server. It is not necessary to enter the game when you do so. Just creating the character reserves the name. The character can later be deleted, and the name will be available to your account after a small, approximately 1 minute delay. We also see a lot of questions about the pre-order bonuses. All the bonuses from pre-orders are account bound. So even if you create a character to reserve your name and then delete said character, you will still be able to use your pre-order bonuses on the server you are going to call home. Thank you for your dedication to New World and the excitement for launch. We'll see you in New World. So what this means, guys, it does confirm two things. So, it doesn't matter what character on what server you use as long as you're still using your same account. Since you can only create one character per server, you get to use your pre-order bonuses, which is awesome. Now, the one character per server thing, that might be something that they're, going to change later on. Who knows? But right now, I think it's kind of smart of them considering this is their first MMO, right? So they're trying to limit the amount of resources that are being used and trying to dedicate as much of those resources to the given game and any given character at a time. Now, obviously, the more characters you have per account and so forth, that database gets a lot larger and, it takes up a lot more server resources. So I think this is pretty smart on their end, but this could change in the future. Maybe a year down the road, 2 years down the road, who knows, right? A lot of things can be changed between now and then. Now, we're going to leave that. I know that probably upsets some of you, considering that, you might get in there and your name is taken. I have a feeling that it's a good possibility that some of the bigger streamers are going to be trolled and their names are going to be taken. But who knows? It could also be one of those things too that maybe some of these larger streamers are going to get like a little bit of a head start so they can go in and reserve their name. I really wouldn't put it past Amazon. I've heard of things like that happening before, but who knows? That's an assumption on my part, so put no validity in it. So now we're going to talk about the servers in which the streamers and, possibly the hardcore PvPers are going to be on. And we're going to be highlighting a particular resource called Streamers on New.World. This is a great resource and I'm going to give them a big shout out because this is the first time I've ever seen this done. Now, we can all agree that the streaming culture is a relatively interesting phenomenon. It's either one of those things that you absolutely love or you absolutely hate or you just don't care about in general. So for those of you who are looking for information as to where these very large streamers are going to be and you want to avoid those servers, this is an amazing tool. You can look at the server. So right here we got Asmongold, who has 2.4 million subscribers. They even have the impact rating. Impact rating of Asmongold, especially as of recently, is very high, of course, as we all know, and shows you the server that he's going to be launching on. And then of course they have Josh OG. He's undeclared, but I can tell you right now he's going to be almost certainly on Valhalla, and we're going to be getting into Valhalla here in a little bit. So for those of you who, want to avoid, the big streaming crowd and you don't want to have anything to do with it, this is a very good tool. You can use this to kind of pinpoint the servers. Now, I will go further to say that Eden is also a streamer server. In my previous research, like last week, kind of came out that Olympus and Eden were going to be the primary streamer servers. Olympus being more of the hardcore, major streamer servers, and Eden kind of being like the small to mid-range streamers. So bear that in mind. Now let's go ahead and talk about the PvP mega server. It's not really a different server. It's not really a mega server, but it is a server that pretty much the entire PvP community went ahead and settled on, and that is going to be Valhalla. This was the server that pretty much all your hardcore PvPers were on initially during the beta tests, and they kind of went ahead and solidified it, and they put it out there and said, yep, this is going to be the PvP server. So for those of you who want to participate in some really hardcore PvP, head on over to Valhalla. From what I've been able to tell, it kind of looks like they have like their own government set up for that server, in which all the leaders for the major companies are talking, and they're staging wars and stuff like that. So it's almost like a role-playing PvP server to a certain degree. It's not really role-playing, but kind of is. So, but there's that. So guys, yeah, I will leave a link down in the description below to this resource, so that way you can go there and kind of check it out yourself. Maybe you're not part of that streamers community, but you would like to be around, and just for the chance to maybe meet them or something like that. It'd be pretty interesting. So that's all I have for this video, guys. If you think that I earned your subscription today, don't forget to hit that like and also subscribe to my channel. I got a lot more New World content coming out, and be sure to hit that notification bell. I have another video coming out today, hopefully here pretty soon, shortly after, right? So be sure to tune in for that. We're going to be talking about Twitch drops and how to go ahead and set up everything so that way you can take advantage of those. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the new world. Some of the servers actually went up a little early during the closed beta tests, and maybe they're going to do it again. I don't know. Hard to tell, but yeah, this take absolutely sucks.